I'd like to just go a little deeper on something to lay the foundation. In our Speaking Up, Presenting to Decision Makers workshop, one of the things we talk about at the outset is the critical importance of understanding the executive mindset. And Brent, you provided a lot of insight into that. Payal, can you add a little bit more on that and why it matters and how it influences the ways in which you change your pattern of behavior, as Brent said?
Right, absolutely spot on, Carrie. I would say there are two important factors at play in terms of executive mindset. One is really understanding and knowing the audience to understand their mindset. And which really means is understanding what are the executive needs, what are the expectations, what are the preferences of the executive. And that entails knowing very, very, very granular things like knowing who the executive is, putting a face to the name, knowing their personality type. Are they really risk averse? Are they conservative? Or are they more innovative? Or they want to try new things? Or also knowing what is their stance on the ask that you're making. So are they in favor of what you're seeking out, that budget approval? Or are they not in favor because maybe there are more priorities that are working there as well? It could be expectations that they have that, you have some executive summary that's being sent out to them beforehand or a report there. Or it could be a detailed report there. Now, that's really about knowing the executives to understand the mindset. And I would say the second part really is to understand, what is important about the executive mindset. Like we understand one of the HBR reports, came up with the understanding here that executives are really at the helm of all business decisions. So they're calling shots on different things. And the idea is to understand what is really, really working for them and what's not really working for them. And as a trusted business advisor, the idea is to tune in and lean into that particular audience. So on a lighter note, if I was to, before I wrap up on this, I'd like to share that recently on my trip to London, I had the opportunity of watching a play, and I'm very fond of plays and I'm into performances, which is called Anne and Juliet. So this is really a spin-off on Juliet, Romeo and Juliet, and Anna Hathaway, the wife of Shakespeare, is actually urging Shakespeare, saying, let's rewrite the script. Let's change the ending of the play and not have Juliet die when she discovers her lover is dead. Because she's merely 13. What if Juliet lives? So the point that I'm making here is, can we start understanding the audience that we are presenting to and play to the global view and changing mindset of the audience?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Payal. And you made me think of an example, again, going back earlier in my career. I was with a very large global company, and I had done many presentations to senior leaders in the US, but I was going to be making my first presentation to the executive team in EMEA. And in the US at this time, the best practice, and at any time you were presenting to the executives, is you bring your printed executive briefing that you pass out. So I didn't do my homework, and I assumed that the protocol was the same in EMEA. They were more forward thinking and being more conscientious about reducing wasted paper. I come into the room, the first thing I do is start distributing this packet, and the president of the group looked at his team and they all started snickering. I had no idea what they were talking about. And, they explained it to me, but first impression, I hadn't even said anything and I'm looking out of touch. So that level of homework, getting that insight from the executive assistant is so very important.